What is one attribute that if a kid like just has it, you know in your mind he's going to be successful, basketball-wise? Like, what do you think that attribute to you is from your experience?
So I've seen kids who are 6'8".
What's up, everybody? This is the Bench Starters. This is James. You know, my guy Noel. Today we got another special guest. My guy Ricky Joghee. Appreciate you having you on, man.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
You know, we've met maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Dude, I'm trying to remember like when we actually connected because I think we're hitting each other up on Instagram and stuff like that. And then it was when I came to your
workout.
Your workout. Yeah.
South workout. That's what it was, man.
So, man, I appreciate you, man. But so just to start it off, man, how did you fall in love with the game of basketball, man?
Man, honestly, so let my parents tell it, man. So I grew up in Chicago, so born and raised, and when I was, 3 years old, when the Bulls were having their era, my mom told me that I was able to just name off all the players on the team. So I guess just when you're little, you're caught up in excitement, and you just, I don't know what I was doing when I was 2, but I guess from that point on, it kind of just clicked. And, being in Chicago is just a heavy basketball city, just with Michael Jordan and, Derrick Rose, Anthony Davis, and everyone else who's come out of there. It's just kind of like a culture thing. So it just struck me. So
What part of Chicago?
So from Rogers Park. So it's in like a northern part by Northwestern University, like by Evanston, Illinois. Okay. And then I went to high school in Skokie, which is a suburb from there. North part of Chicago.
Gotcha.
So then how was your basketball career?
Man, so I did not play high school basketball, but I spent every single dime and time I had on that basketball court. Didn't party the weekends at all. I don't know how much money and how many times I done snuck in and finessed a community center, but that's all we did on the weekends. Man, I had a group of friends, and, all we did was hoop. We just went to the rec center, and we just hooped right after school, get on the bus, go to the rec center until about 10 o'clock at night, hang with the boys, eat some food, play Xbox, wake up that next morning, go right back to the rec center all day.
Hoop, man.
And then, in the spring and summertime when the weather got nice, we were at the parks. So I was fortunate enough, saying I think we're the same age. I'm 29. But, like, going to the parks was a big thing. Like, we used to hoop at the parks, and that was something I did all the time, and then play, like, in rec leagues and, like, fall leagues and stuff like that. And then, that was it, man. Just did all that, and then I got to college at UMKC. I helped out as a student manager and then did some scout stuff for the girls' team. But then always played, like always, man. I remember a good friend of mine, man, UA head coach, Coach Campbell. He was older than me, so he's like big bro. And, it was my first time on campus. I didn't know anybody from Chicago. And we clicked on the court, and then, like, I was walking to class one day, and he's like, where are you going to? I'm like, I'm going to class. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, oh, I got class too. I'm going to the gym. I'm like, I'm naive. I'm young. I'm like, you can do that? Like, this is my first experience out of high school. Like, you can leave and just go to the gym? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, can I come? He's like, yeah. And that started a whole trip of me just ditching class. We'd just be at the rec center all day.
Man, listen. You sound like me. Yeah. You sound like me. And that's what got me in trouble, man. Yeah. Definitely ditching class to go do other things, but mostly basketball related.
Absolutely. So that's kind of where it started, man. Just always playing, always finding a way to play, and always just being around it. So,
man, that's really dope, man. Can you like expand on like your time as a student manager? Because I don't think those guys get enough respect because, man, I mean, they do a lot of, grunt work. And not to even say grunt work, but, like they
behind
do a lot of
things.
a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people do not know, man.
Yeah, I think, it was a great experience for me just because I was able to see, the work that people put in at the Division I level, right? And, me coming from a, kid, who loves basketball, who cherishes it, I don't ever, like, put anything down, but we know, like, being Kansas City, UMKC kind of has, like, a way of how people feel about it. Like, oh, it's
it doesn't
D1.
get shown much love.
It doesn't get shown much love. I'm like, bro, it's still Division I.
It is.
College. And being there, I was able to just see guys work. I was able to be a part of the program when they started doing Shot Tracker. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yes.
So I was
Ron Hoover.
Yep. I was able to finally, like, be the first person to, like, work on that and see those metrics. I thought it was like pretty cool to do that. And then just see like preparation, before a game, going to municipal and being with the coaches and just seeing how they were in the locker rooms and kind of just, being at the end of the bench. Coach called timeout. You grab the bench, you hurry up, put it there so you can sit down and draw the plays. And, you're around that environment. I think it was just, such a good thing to kind of have that and then be in the grassroots. Because it's like, dude, I don't have the answers, but I got a lot of answers that you guys are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what they like to hear a lot of times, but I feel like it's given me such an advantage being in my position as a coach and a mentor to the grassroots kids to kind of tell them, hey, this is what you need to do. Like, it's the stuff you need to do is like the corny, boring stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got to do.
Man.
You got to be corny. You got to shot, top your feet, hands up. You got to jab. You got to shot fake. Like, it's one dribble, two dribble, go. Like, it's not what you think it is, man. So I think it helped me a lot to get an insight on, what it is to be at that level and what it takes to get at that level.
I want you to expand on a little bit of that because I think, and I'm not gonna go, oh, these kids don't know, because they do, because they all go play Division I or they go play college, they go to pro. Like, there are still people playing high level basketball, but like, speak to like those small things, those fundamentals that like gets a kid rather than going, maybe NAIA Division II, and then a kid that's going to a D1 like a UMKC. Like, speak to those little things that matter. Like, tell me what you think about those.
I think the little things are everything, man. And I tell this analogy to my kids all the time, man. I'm like, look, you can go Black Friday shopping, get a PS5, get your nice gaming chair, you get the biggest flat screen on the wall, you mount it, and when it's time to mount the TV, you get everything plugged in, you're missing the screw. It's over. Night's over. You can't play. You can't set the TV up. You can't do nothing because you're missing the little screw. And that's what a lot of kids are missing, is a little screw. No one cares to be in the midline all the time. No one cares to rotate outside the lane. No one cares to deny. No one cares to chop their feet. No one cares to be in a stance. No one cares to talk, right? That's the biggest thing that drives me nuts, is that they talk so much during practice, before practice, and talking as far as like socially talking, not actively talking in an important manner that has to do with the game. And then when it comes down to communicate and talk and, let their teammates know what's going on, we're quiet. And I come from a background, I'm in the Missouri Army National Guard. So I had some training, military training, and that was very extensive for about 6 months. And, it's the same concept when you apply it in sports. It's wartime, right? It's relatively speaking, right? It's not guns and, defending the freedom of a country, but it's wartime, right? It's competition. So when you're in the military, you have to talk and communicate so people know what's going on so they don't get shot and killed.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, man. Like, we're competing, we got fans, we got crowds, we're defending a territory, which is the basket that they can't score on, and like, we have to compete and we have to talk. And I think that's one thing that gets, that kids don't do, which they should do, when talking will solve 99% of everything. Because just in life, communication is key. If you don't talk, if you don't express how you feel, you don't express discomfort, you don't express your opinion on how things are, there's never going to be any change. There's never going to be any progress. So that's why I tell the guys, man, on your point of those little things, that talking is key. That's the one thing I say, man. Talk, call everything out. There's never been a player who's gotten in trouble for over talking.
No.
Listen, man. Fact.
So, going on with you, talking to your grassroots program, and I know you're a man of the community, man. So can you tell me about your time at the Boys and Girls Club? Because I know that you met a lot of the Wyandotte kids, and how fond you are of them kids, and how they are fond of you too. And even now, some of them probably 3 years out of college now, and 3 years in college now, and how much they still care about you and the respect that they give you when they see you and stuff, man. Yeah,
it's all love, man. KCK is the big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So when I was at UMKC, I had a good friend of mine. She was working at the Boys and Girls Club. She was an admin, and she knew what I was doing at UMKC. She saw I was always playing basketball in that kind of realm. And she's like, hey, man, we're looking for like a sports coordinator in KCK. And I was like, sure, yeah. I mean, I'm tired of college, honestly, man. I don't want to keep being here. I was looking for every excuse to like get out of college. And I was like, yeah, I get some money and actually do stuff? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I went there, and it was a match made in heaven. Just because growing up, as a person who's like, when you're younger, it's always like you have the hoop dreams. You're like, I'm a player. You're never like, I want to coach. Like it kind of like gets like a disrespectful like notion, like coach. Like I don't want to coach.
Those who can't do teach kind of thing. That's
Absolutely. I was like,
kind
man,
of
you want me to
thing.
coach? And then like I was like, man, whatever. So I did it, and it was like, a lot of, before I did it, a lot of people were like, oh, were you working at Boys and Girls Club? I'm like, yeah, like KCK. And I was like, yeah. And I'm not from here. I don't know. Like, I can't see. It's like, oh, like, watch out. And I'm like, watch out. Like, what do you mean watch out? Like, they're like devil children? Like, what do you mean? Like, oh, well, it's rough around there. I'm like, dude, I'm from Chicago. Like, I didn't grow up in the slums, but I think I know what rough is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you just probably don't know how to reach these kids. So, first day there, and I went, and I got introduced as the sports guy, and we had basketball practice. I came right in the basketball season, and it was like magic. I said they did. And I was like, this can't be that hard. And we just kept it going, and it was a beautiful season. Saying we had our little leagues in the Thornberry Boys and Girls Club, and had success in that. Played at the CBE for our like championship games. That was really cool, and that really catapulted me wanting to dive into the grassroots and doing basketball full time, and kind of using my platform to help these kids through basketball and through the community. It was a blessing, man. It was, I kind of fell into it. Like, most people when they do this kind of work and they coach and they start off at the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA, it's, it's kind of like a Bad News Bears kind of deal, right? You kind of see,
somebody gets dragged into it kind of thing.
Yeah, but like I didn't get dragged into it, and I stumbled upon a lot of talent. Like a lot of those kids, man, and it's crazy, man. This is like, it's one of those things when you do stuff, it'll always be in your memory bank. And I always tell myself, because we all are guilty of playing the what if game, and I do it all the time. If I was the way I am now, and I had all my stuff set up, and I knew what I knew now with the kids I had back then, dude, it'd be a whole different ball game. It'd be a whole different ball game. But like those kids, I'm always thinking about that propelled me to, be where I'm at today and do what I do. So I can't be more thankful for that. Like KCK, YCO, like they got my heart. Like that's definitely like when it comes to Kansas City and I hear like Wyandotte County, I was like, yeah, that's home.
That's
for sure,
man. That's
sure.
dope, man.
That's love. That's love, man.
Going on from there, I know that you started, getting out here. You're really started your real coaching journey in the high school sector of basketball. So can you tell me about your first stop that you went to?
Yeah, absolutely, man. First stop was Life Prep Academy out in Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
I was a volunteer assistant coach there. And, I worked with a lot of international kids. So a lot of those prep schools, they get kids from the Bahamas and Turkey and, other countries like that, and China. And, it was a hell of an experience, man, good and bad. Because, it's just crazy. Like, I feel like everywhere I go, I see, I don't want to say injustice, but I want to say they don't do enough
for
the kids.
No, everywhere.
Yeah.
I agree with you
like
1,000%.
My stop everywhere I've been at, I don't know if it's the man above playing games or what, but it's like that's what I'm able to see. That's the perspective I see. Because I had to, I was still at Wichita State at the time, so I went there too and try to finish up school at Wichita State while I was doing that. And I was able to, talk to the rec center coordinator, and I managed to, be able to bring the kids to Wichita State in the rec center and do extra work. Because the practices we had were just like, they weren't enough. And that's all these kids were getting. But mind you, these kids are from overseas. They're paying money to come to prep school. Like, they're staying in dorms under the notion that they're going to get treated like, prep athletes, prep basketball players. And they weren't. So we had to, I put in hours of extra work at Wichita State with the kids after practice. Sometimes we have practice canceled. Before school, I'd pick them up on the weekends, and we just work at the rec center at Wichita State. And that was my first stop. And, it was unfortunate that the season didn't end up the way it should have. But there were a lot of high-level dudes, man, that, a couple went to play overseas in Turkey, and, a couple didn't. They just stopped playing basketball. I mean, it's kind of like, the luck of the draw when you're in that prep environment. Like, if you make it, you make it. If you don't, no one cares. It's hard to kind of keep that alive. And me, I'm only 29, so I was doing this. I was, 22, 23, 22, 24. Not much skin in the game, not much, credibility as far as like the relationships and the networks of coaches, just a young dude just doing his thing. So it was hard for me to like get these kids on. I was just doing all I could. And then, that ended the way it did. And, I came back to Kansas City, and then I got a job at Blue Valley North High School. And it was crazy how that worked out, man. I was living in the city off of Gillum and Armour by the Costco.
I used to stay over there. I know exactly
You know
what
what I'm
area you're talking
Mac
about.
Properties
Yeah, I was in Mac Properties.
Okay. Yeah, you know about Mac. Yeah, I love Mac. Shout out Mac Properties, man. But
they'll cut you a deal or two sometimes.
Yeah, the referrals, you know what I'm saying? But there's a middle school, foreign language academy.
Yeah, right over.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is.
And I got a head coaching job there as a middle school. And I was geeked. I was like, man, like now I can like start my grassroots. Like got him in. I'm a head coach at middle school. And like 2 weeks later, the AD called me. She said, hey, like I'm so sorry. Like I'm a new AD, and this kind of went over my head. But you you don't have a bachelor's, and you don't have enough hours as a assistant in Missouri. So you have to have a 2-year. If you don't have a bachelor's, you need 2 years of assistant coaching experience in Missouri to be a head coach. So I didn't have that. So she was like, I'm sorry, I can't give you the position. And we're in like October now. And I'm like, bruh, like it's like season's about to start.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm scratching my head. I'm like, what am I going to do? So a friend of mine told me he had a job opening he knew at Blue Valley West. And, I called the coach, and I coached his player over the summer. I was coaching for MoCan Select 17U. And I was coaching one of his players, and he knew me. He was fond of me. He's like, but, dude, all I got is a freshman B job. And my ego, I'm like, bro, I just coached 17U players over the summer. I had a head coaching job. Granted, it was middle school, it was head coaching. And now I'm about to get a freshman B job. But I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to put my ego aside. I'm just going to apply and see what's up. So when I went to apply, it's in the Blue Valley School District. So you see all the jobs.
You saw the jobs. You saw the listings.
I saw Blue Valley North varsity assistant. I was like, man, let me go ahead and just click this one too.
It's an easy thing. Just click one button, and then you don't have to do nothing else.
Lo and behold, I got the job there. Had a hell of a first year. Went to the Final Four, and that was the first year of COVID. And that was probably one of the top, most heartbreaking ones I've had as a coach working with kids, because they told us at halftime, they took the coaches aside and said, hey, we're not going to play after this. So this is the last game in Kansas, and we're going to stop the tournament.
Oh, wow.
Bro, when I tell you, it's so hard to coach. And we came back and we won, and all the seniors like, Coach, we're winning, we're going to the Final Four. And you just stay there and you say, nah, we're not. Everyone broke down, bro. And it was like, it was a lot of adversity that year too, you know what I'm saying? Just from commuting from where I was in the city to, down in Overland Park, and living with my fiance, and she was working up north at North Kansas City Hospital. So, and now my wife, and, it was a lot to do. So, that hurt a lot. And then, I went to the military, my boot camp summer after that. So during COVID, so I didn't really miss much. The whole world was shut down pretty much for AU. And then we came back that year, and then went back to state and won it, man. And that was probably one of the best feelings ever, bro. Just, want to win the state championship at 6A, but also because of what happened before that. Yeah. So that's what kind of catapults all this. And now at Park Hill South, I'm going to be my third year there next year. So, it's good, man. It's good. Definitely a big change from going to Kansas to Missouri, I'll tell you that.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Talk to us about, you're at Park Hill South, right? Talk to us about Staley this year. How crazy was that going up against them? Like the preparation.
Yeah, Staley is, I've known those guys since they were, Cayenne was like in 8th grade. It's crazy when you're a coach, like you don't age, but you see kids age.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
right.
And I've known Fish, and Fish, that's one kid, man, I'll say I love that kid, and his he showed me a lot when I first met him. So we had a workout at Staley. So Coach Neff is always hands-on with the guys, and he has tons of workouts that he does, and he invites all the kids over. I was able to go in there and just, peek, and, I love just as a young coach taking notes and seeing what they're putting the guys through. And we had a workout, and after the workout, he's like, hey, you guys can do an open gym. And so, I'm still young, and I was hopping in with the kids, and, kids are going to be kids. They kind of just don't take the open gym serious. Turns into like a whole bunch of, crappy runs.
Right.
And Fish, this kid's an 8th grader, give me a freshman. He's like, man, this is terrible, man. I feel like I'm wasting my time. And I'm like, oh, it's not a little mature for you if you're saying that. He's like, man, like, I'm not getting any better. I was like, you want to go to the aux gym and play one-on-one and work? He's like, yeah. Played one-on-one for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I was like, damn, bro, this kid's serious. But just to show that kind of is how their program is run too.
Exactly.
They're very serious. I mean, you watch the film on them, they're closing out, they're hard hedging, they're in the midline, they're rotating, they're sliding their feet, hands up. Like, they definitely, they should have won state this year. I mean, they're just very well coached, very disciplined. You got 4 D1 guys on your program, man. Like, it's
there's that. There's that part of it too,
And not 4 D1 like 6'5'9", like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8",
Yeah.
6'3", like
the length.
Yeah.
The length.
No, Staley is hats off to them. Congratulations to them, man. That's a hell of a 4-year run they've had and what they've done for their program. 4 straight district titles, state championship. They've definitely set a standard and a culture for the precedence for the rest of the kids coming in. Like, hey, man, this is like what you guys got to do now. This is kind of like the expectation to at least compete to that level.
Yeah.
And I think they did some good up there, man. So hats off to Staley for sure.
So talking about set the standard now, I want you to talk about your program, Faith Over Fear. I've actually been able to go to your combine. I've came in and watched your practice, because I'm always a person who
Absolutely.
I try to learn from everybody. So I came in and watched you guys practice, which you guys were super organized and super professional over there as well. So tell me how you just came up with the concept of that, and then your slogan set the standard. Like I want you to just
Yeah. So it started when I was in Wichita, man. So that whole point in Wichita, man, it was a rough spot, but a good rough spot. Like kind of like a breaking out moment to like, what am I gonna do with my life? And spending time at the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA's, always volunteering, being around kids. I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I want to coach and I want to help kids, and I'm just gonna do this because a lot of times in life, on the path of growing into an adult, you're in that little area where you don't know what to do. There's a bunch of people telling you what to do, what you should do, and you're like, what do I do? And for me to like kind of want to just pursue basketball and those endeavors, it's not really pushed. That's not really the agenda that people want you to do. It's like pick another career that's like that people else want you to do. So I was sitting on my air mattress, man. I was trying to figure out what to do and with my life and everything with basketball and tying it all in. And I was like, man, I thought of like faith over fear. I'm just going to have faith over my fear that this is going to work out instead of having the fear that it's not going to work out and I have to do something that someone else wants to do. So, I did that and ran with it and, did the paperwork and got my nonprofit, EIN number and then got everything together because spending time at the Boys and Girls Club and YMCA's, those are all nonprofit organizations, and I was able to see the benefits that a nonprofit can do for you, if you have it set up the right way with as far as like grants and fundings and opportunities of that matter. And, we started just doing clinics, went back to the dot, went to JFK, and just did a whole bunch of workouts at a thing called FOF Fridays where we just did free workouts in KCK at the community center for about all of August till about January. Every Friday, and did that for a while, and then had some camps, and then we had our first ever fall league team at the Rockhurst Fall League. The year when I got to Blue Valley North, so fall of 2019. So had that, and then had our first AAU program officially last year. We had a 17U and a 14U, and then before that, we started the Unsigned Senior Combine, so now we're going to have our 3rd annual Combine this Saturday. So that's been something huge. Just giving kids an extra opportunity, man, to get extra live period. A lot of coaches are still, looking for roster space. You got kids who just, leave college or, get another opportunity, or you get family issues or what the case may be, and you got assistants who are always trying to impress the coach with, getting a gem that can kind of like help catapult them and show that they're good at what they do. to help, advance their career. So I think it's something that works for everybody, and it's something that I really want to do because I think it's important for kids, especially with the COVID years and all that's going on. Like, you need an extra opportunity for a live period, especially for kids who, like we talked about, who may be playing on certain teams that, have a big name, have a platform, but you're not getting much clock. So you don't have much film and you have nothing to show for it. So it's like, hey, let's get you another opportunity to show what you can do, with the coaches that are local. Maybe it's Nebraska, maybe it's South Kansas, South Missouri. And it's like, especially that 17 year, it's like that humble year. Where it's like, hey, man, it's not what you think it was. So go ahead, take this JUCO. Go ahead, take this NAIA. Go ahead and take this D3 and D2 and just get in there.
Yeah.
And then, if you're really about it, work your ass off and go crazy and have a D1 call you or hit the portal or the case may be. But get your foot in that door, man. So that's what, I try to offer with this opportunity.
And I'll say, man, that's also another, when I went to your combine last year, I mean, just even networking with some of the other coaches there and just seeing some of the players, man, like kids, just because, you're really skilled or you are tall and you do have the measurements, sometimes having, going to workouts or and maybe not, not tagging on for another year of AAU or another couple sessions for AAU when you can just go perform in front of coaches could be way more beneficial, because it doesn't mean, because when I went there, it's not a crowd. It's not looking for other teams. It's everybody's there is trying to find a home.
Absolutely.
For next year. So it was just it's easier to like signal in on guys and zone in on them. Like, oh, okay, well, I could see him doing this, or I could see him doing that, or
absolutely,
like, man, I could see him probably going there and JUCO, and then I'm gonna talk to him too. You know what I'm saying? So, I would say that's a humongous thing that kids should really, unsigned seniors, go to camps, man. Go to camps. Go to any type of unsigned senior showcase or anything like that. Don't always just be like, oh, well, I'm going to take 2 more sessions.
Right.
Because then you're holding up another kid, but you also, you know what I'm saying, you want to be seen.
Right.
You want to be seen. So, that's beautiful stuff, man. I love what you're doing, man. Like, I always support you.
Thank you.
So now in our segment, what we do, so Nola have 4 questions. I got 4 questions.
Okay.
So you have 24 seconds to answer each question, okay?
Okay.
So just to clarify that, because one of the viewers told me that I don't do a great job of clarifying what's going on. So you have 8 questions. So you have 8 possessions. So you have 24 seconds per question. So you have time to think about it a little bit, but it's 24 seconds, so you gotta get it off. All right.
Okay. No worries.
No, you can start it off, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's go, man. Give me your best lifestyle shoe, lifestyle/basketball shoe. What's your favorite? The number one.
Lifestyle / basketball.
So I got the bread ones on right now.
Okay.
That's turned into like a You know what I'm saying? So give me yours.
I would say definitely. I think it's just definitely has to go with the breads for sure. To the ones for sure. I'd say Kobe's also.
Yeah.
I think I grew up Kobe guy, and I think you can kind of like mess with those.
Uh-huh.
I will say back in the day when I was growing up, the KDs. I forgot which one they were, but you know what I'm talking about.
The
low top with the flat.
The sevens.
They had like the peanut butter and jelly ones.
Okay.
I go
That's
with
probably
those
the most worn out shoe ever.
Yeah, no, everybody had them.
The cargo shorts.
With the cargo shorts.
Yeah, now with a good elite sock. Yeah.
Give me your top 5 Chicago team, and it has to be players that were born in Chicago.
Derrick Rose, Anthony Davis. I'm going to go off of people that I actually saw play.
Okay.
So I'm going to go off Jeremy Richmond. He was one of the greatest dudes ever. Was All-American, went to Waukegan, played at U of I. Hell of a dude. Man, if we're going to keep it real, Dwayne Wade, got to put D Wade in there. Man, Kevin Garnett.
KG.
That's 5 right there. Yeah.
So see, my thing with KG is I thought he was from South Carolina. Am I right or am I know he went to high school
from the crib. We claim Kevin Garnett on this podcast.
You get to claim.
We claim Kevin Garnett. He's from the crib. He's from the crib.
He act like a Chicago dude too, man.
You're right about that. He's
man, these questions are crazy with 24 seconds. I gotta like gather my memory bank. Like, wait, who's all in the league? Who's from the crib? Like,
all right, man. So you told me you were a Kobe guy before this. Give me your number one Kobe moment of all time. The one that you felt the most, where you was like, "This is why I'm a fan of him."
The moment itself would have to be Joghee. Do you guys remember that when they played the Phoenix Suns?
So when he was on the Phoenix Suns.
So yeah, and they were playing that series. And they had a little excerpt of like they had that little beef going on. And he was like, I forgot what he was saying, but he was basically saying like he's nothing. Like he's like
it was in an interview, right? It was like a press conference or whatever.
And he was just cooking him.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's different. And
he ate him up that series.
Ate him up, and it was just like. It was a whole like Kobe thing. Like, it's not just, the fact that, he was dunking on you. He was doing all that stuff. He was taking crazy game winners. It was like, it's just that mentality of like being a dog. Like that second moment I will say after that Joghee one was the T-shirt. Do you remember the T-shirt that had the X-ray of his hand?
See, I must have missed that one.
There's a T-shirt. It was a Nike basketball T-shirt.
Oh, I know. I seen it. But it got the rings.
They got the rings. And it has fractured finger, dislocated this. It's like, dude, you got to think about it. When you jam your finger doing something, it hurts. This guy's like shooting hand, shooting shoulder in an NBA game, like season, is winning and playing at that level and murdering when guys are taking DMPs for lower sore backs and knees, and he's just doing it.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. There's no crying about it. There's no, like, that's the reason you could say his career, ended shortly, was because the body just broke down.
Oh yeah.
But it's at that mentality. It's like, dude, I'm just gonna give it everything until the engine blows out. And I think that when you encompass all that, man, that's gotta go with Bean. Gotta go with Bean.
All right. For my second question, hey man, that's great, man. It could be Kobe's probably one of my favorite guys ever, man. Like I tell people all the time, that's the only poster I've ever.
Yeah, if you love basketball, there's no way you can't.
Don't like Kobe. Yeah. There's no way.
So we talk about Kobe. So who's your favorite player now who you think embodies Kobe Bryant?
Nah, man, that's one thing I will say, man, because I've had this conversation before. I love that there's a lot of love for players who are now in the league that are like grew up on Kobe, and like you'll see like they'll channel their inner Mamba mentality, but like ain't no one got that Mamba mentality. No one's got that. You can love Kobe, it's all good, like, but don't make it like now I'm Kobe Jr. Like it's not like that. So to answer that, I don't think anyone has that.
I like that.
Nobody got it.
Nah, nobody does. I mean, nah. I think maybe the closest one I'll give you Dame. I'll give you Dame.
He's pretty.
Just because he's always competing. You never hear about no politics. You're not hearing about, I want to go here and that. He got who he got, and he's going to give you 60s, he's going to give you 40s, he's going to give you 50, and he's going to play hard. And I'll give you Westbrook, too.
Russ?
I'll give you Westbrook. I love Westbrook.
You don't care about nothing
Nah, bro, he's just playing. Like, you can't say he don't play hard. Whatever, decision-making, whatever. Dude, you go be Russ. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? That's why I don't engage much in these debates, as ironic as it is, because I'm a basketball guy, I'm in it. But like when it comes to like people talking basketball, I have a whole different perspective. I can't.
That's what I'm saying. They're dealing with a whole different set of like values and thoughts that people who actually like love the game, we don't think in that direction.
No,
like
I don't do that kind of picking on stuff. I'll just talk about, hey, let's enjoy the fruit basket that we have.
Yeah,
we have
like
so many great. Why are we talking about comparing? Like, why are you just taking the fun out of it?
Like,
like you just like, dude, you don't gotta make it like that. You know what I'm saying? But Dame and Russ.
I got you. So you have your program, and you got these kids, and you've been doing it for some years, and you coach them. What is one attribute that a kid can have? He can, you're dealing with a blank slate right now. What is one attribute that if a kid like just has it, in your mind he's going to be successful basketball wise? Like, what do you think that attribute to you is from your experience?
Is he coachable and does he play hard? That's it. So I've seen kids who are 6'8", 6'9", who are mental midgets.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen kids who can dunk, glass somebody's shit off the backboard, airheads, like emotional babies. Like I've seen it all. If you don't work hard and you're not coachable, so that ties into like being respectful and like being mature and just going hard, it's not gonna work. Like I don't even like. There's kids that like I'll bring into my program that can't shoot, have no basketball feel, but they sprint hard, they're strong, yes, coach, and they do what you tell them. Give me that all day. Because I know I can develop somebody. That's like, if you're really a coach and you really, have been in these trenches and you do what you say you do, it's no problem to develop a kid.
All right.
But they have to be coachable and have a good mindset. And that's over.
Speaking of what you just said, I remember coming to watch you guys play, and it was he wasn't really too tall, but he was probably like 6'5". It was a white kid. I think he was lefty. He had red hair. He was really pale. Maybe it was brown, or I don't know. But like you talking about sprinting hard, playing hard, listening.
Was that Blue Valley North? Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it was Blue Valley North.
That's Luke DeVore. So I coached him at Blue Valley North. He's playing at Simpson College right now.
And that's dope.
Plays hard, man.
Plays hard.
Late bloomer. Got
Yeah.
super tall. Plays hard. Plays hard. Works hard. Has a good diet. Works out in the morning. Like goes to open runs with adults with his dad. Like he's just yes
Plays
sir.
hard.
Like yeah.
Those are the ones you want.
Yeah,
Those
because
are
the
the ones
marathon,
you
man.
want.
Those are the ones who are gonna last.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna sneak in and play in college and might get a pro stint or maybe have a good career outside of that, because what you do on the basketball court just translates to what kind of human being you're gonna be.
Exactly. 1,000%.
Yeah. So
Your favorite college coach?
that's funny you said that, man. 'Cause I had this conversation with my guys all the time. Just off of
Go ahead and say it, man.
just because
Go ahead and say it, man.
because of the inside of my heart, and just because, how can you say it? I guess you can say I've been what's that word called? Jaded. That'd be a good word for me. I'm gonna say Coach Cal, man. I'm gonna just say Coach Cal. Now, just because I'm a big, Kentucky Blue fan, like just because I got caught in it, it got me at the right time. Like I'm John Wall, all them dudes. Bro, I was like, it's like,
How can you not?
How can you not like it, man?
How can you not?
And then the year before at Kentucky, Jody Meeks was
Jody
going
Meeks was
crazy.
crazy.
And
Jody Meeks was going crazy. So
he had D Rose too, Tyreek. I mean, he gets guys. It's just like, I just think, there's two different sides. Like there's, I'm aware there's certain coaches I do like that are like run good stuff, have good programs. Like I'm a big fan of Tom Izzo. I think what he's done at Michigan State, they just play hard. They're consistent every single year. They're competing.
He does a lot with not a whole lot. If you look at the players that he's had a couple guys, but he ain't had.
Yeah, he doesn't get the sexy 5 stars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say he doesn't get good guys, but he doesn't get the sexy 5 stars. But they're just a winning program. They do the right things. They play hard. But for Cal, man, I think the reason, honestly, why I say Cal is because it ties so much into what I do with my mission as far as working with kids. It's just getting them to the next level. Like, you can say what you want. You get some guys that people say, yeah, they're going to be pros anyways. But it's like, that's not the point. The point is, like, he just started getting guys when no one got guys and said, go, one and done. College coaches didn't do that. They're like, hey, let's just stay in my program 3-4 years. And it's like, dude, just go. Like when he had DeJuan Wagner. Thank God he let DeJuan Wagner go. Because the next year when he was at the Cavaliers, he had colitis.
Right.
Played 11 games or something like that. What if he didn't go to the NBA?
Yeah.
Was Kentucky going to give him a bag? They probably give him insurance for medical insurance, but like, what else would have happened? Yeah. Like, not saying they probably wouldn't give him a job on staff. I don't know, but the point is, it's like, dude,
it wouldn't have happened.
He set the trend for getting guys and just going league. And I think, for me, in my personal opinion, like, I think that's dope, and I like it a lot. So, like, when I hear college coaches, I just think, I think Cal. For sure.
No, he the guy. He's got it done. If you look at who's in the league right now, as far and like not just who's in the league, just like what they do, like
max contracts.
Max contracts.
There's not. He's got guys.
Yeah,
he's just got
he
like
got max contract.
Yeah. Max contracts and guys, man. I mean, shit. SGA. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
he keep adding them.
De'Aaron
That's
Fox,
the thing.
Bam
Like
Adebayo, Julius Randle, Anthony Davis,
Devin Booker,
Booker,
like
Jamal, like it doesn't stop.
Marcus Cousins,
their names, their household names.
Hey, Emmanuel Quickly about to get paid.
Yep, Emmanuel Quickly. Yep.
like these are guys. These
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
Shit, we letting names go by the cracks.
That's what I'm saying. Like he just get guys.
Yeah.
So, all right, we playing pickup.
Uh-huh.
Dunk on somebody or hit a 3 in their face. Which one you choosing? Which one feels better?
Oh, I mean, I haven't done it, but I would assume dunk on somebody's face all day.
Even which would if you had to choose one?
I'd take a dunk on somebody's face all day.
Dunk somebody's face.
Yeah. Because it's like a pickup thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like because it's like you could talk about that forever.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like the 3, you can kind of redeem yourself. Like, all right, play again. Like, you ain't gonna hit that again. That was lucky. You can't say it was lucky if somebody dunked on you.
Hitting that 3 again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it is. It does live. It does live on forever.
Oh, yeah.
That dunk most definitely lives on forever.
It's psychological. Like I feel like everybody's had a 3 get crossed and hit a 3 in their face. Like you play basketball long enough.
Yeah.
But not everybody's gotten, dunked on for a poster.
For getting crossed, man.
Like I've been crossed before. Oh yeah,
Cross, step back 3 on you.
yes, plenty of times.
Nasty.
It is.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
disgusting.
say you've like played ball and like I love ball and you're into it and not have those things happen.
And love defense because I love defense.
Yeah.
I love it, and it's like
Hey, kiddos, one thing. Hey, once you get past a certain age, I promise that. Hey,
no, you can't.
Hey, I'll always preach defense, but look, man, Coach James, man, that
knees.
lateral, the knees, the lateral quickness,
Yeah.
man. Look, I'm just out there just playing hard, man. I'm not playing too much D, man.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm playing
can't.
hard. It might look like I'm playing defense, but nah, man. The lateral quickness is gone, man. I'm
No,
cooked.
for sure.
I'm cooked good. Last question, man. We wrap it up. Outside of winning state, what's your? You know what? No. I'm gonna put you on blast. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put you on blast. Your best Whitecoat kid that you've coached.
Damn. That's a hell of a blast.
Your personal favorite now, not the most successful.
Yeah,
Your personal favorite.
Yeah, like your favorite kid that you be, and it's not saying that they're all not your favorite, but the one you be like, this is why I say this kid actually understood what I talked about and took everything I've gave him and ran with it. Because there's some kids who you gave them stuff and they didn't run with it.
That helps.
Yeah,
and that cuts the list a lot.
Yeah,
like we're talking about like, encompass the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's not there yet.
You're not there yet?
Not there yet.
Yeah.
He's not there yet. Think he will be, but he's not there yet. I got 4 more years. I got 1 more with me. I'm gonna give him 4 more years, and I'll probably have an answer for you.
All right.
But as of right now, the one who is taking that and running with it, I'll say Jacoby Hicks. He's at Staley right now, freshman. He'll be a sophomore. He's playing for Vic this summer.
Right.
He played 17U with me last year, known him since he was second grade.
Clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
He played 17U with you last year as an
As an 8th
grader.
grader. Yep. And his brother was 7th grade, played a couple 17U games too. That's how we rock over here, man. You know,
Impressive
like
play.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Because you can't say you want to play varsity and you can't say you're nice and then like we don't. Like, why wouldn't you play 17U? Like it's weird to me. Like why wouldn't you do it? Like you're scared? Like
I guess I'm
like,
coming. So
Yeah.
guess where I'm coming from is it was so many kids in Dallas. You actually had to actually be a 5-star in order to get to play 17U. Because if not, we got plenty. We got plenty of kids. You got to actually be like I don't know if you ever heard of LeBron Nash.
Yeah,
Like,
he had
he-
stupid bounce.
No, like
I know
that-
exactly what you're talking
and
about.
so he came up. He was in 6th grade, and people were like trying to put him in high school games and stuff. So like you have to legit be like that in order to, I guess,
to be on there.
To be on there.
Yeah.
So,
No,
like-
he's the transformation he's made this year too, man. As far as like his work ethic and what's been doing, he has a chance, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, I had and that's the beauty of having your own platform.
Yeah,
I make my own rules. I can do what I want.
right.
And to be able to put him and his brother on 17U last year was was great because to me, I'm like, I don't care if we really win or not right now. Like, this is for you guys. Like, I want to see you guys play because I think you guys can. And, you know, they did great. Little brother, Bub, he's a 7th, 8th grader now. He plays on my 15U team. He did good, held his own, had a couple of corner threes. And, like, but it was good to see, like, players who are smart and when they're in those environments, they're going to play in a different way.
Right.
And it's so good to see that because it shows maturity and it shows like, you know, they're not going to wet the bed. They're going to do what they should do, which is play hard, play decent, in the corner, hit a 3 and not make mistakes.
Don't get out there and it ain't about this level. It's about the other things.
Yeah, and his brother did really well. A couple tournaments, man, he was doing his thing. I mean, as an 8th grader playing against, you know, varsity level guys. You know, I think it's so back to your answer. As of now, I'll say him because of what I'm seeing right now as far as his work ethic, what he's doing. I'll say Kobe Hicks, but to encompass it all, as of right now, can't give you an answer. I'm going to have to let it marinate a little bit. Maybe a couple of years from now, I'll give you an answer.
All right. So that's cool. So at least we know that we're going to give you back on the show then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, man, this wraps up a great show, man. I appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you coming, man.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You dropped some gems for us, man. You really did.
I appreciate that.
Like, share, comment on the video. You know, we talked about a lot. So, just comment, show love. And then
tell us where we can find all of your platforms. And
yeah, man. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, but Facebook's a little different. I mean, it's a little more like, you know, family, personal stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as like, I mean, I do post some business stuff on there, but as far as like, you know, that goes just Twitter and Instagram. Just type my last name in Joghee and you'll see it pop up. Ain't too many Joghees out here. So yeah, Joghee, and you'll see me on there. So yeah.
This wraps up another episode of Bench Starters, and we're logging out, man.